Welcome to The Key with Kim Mills. I'm so excited to introduce you to one of my dearest friends in Columbus, Ohio, Travis Samson. Travis is the proprietor of Samson Men's Emporium in the Short North, and we're going to get into all the things, the wins, the lows, the messy, and of course some style tips because we all need that. So
Sure.
welcome.
Oh, thanks very much.
I'm
Nice
so
to be
glad
here.
you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Travis and I have known each other since 2008, so we go way back.
Way back, we used to sit at a partner's desk and looked at each other for 2 years at least.
Yes.
Just stared at each other.
Just stared at
And
each
it was
other.
great.
Sold
So if
real
you can do
estate.
that with someone, they're going to be a best friend.
Exactly, bestie. Okay, I want to jump in and talk about sort of how Samson came to be. I know the story, but I want
Sure.
you to tell everybody the story. Like, when did the idea first hit you? How did it really come to fruition?
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
So really going back, as a little kid, my grandfather had a furniture store, and this is in southern West Virginia, you know, decently sized town, and he was a Maytag man, parlayed that into a furniture store. And as a kid, just seeing our family name on the window, Samson Maytag, was very exciting. And I just loved the idea that he could walk in every day and turn the key and turn the lights on. And that was always very romantic to me. I just thought that was fun. And also as a kid, I loved watching Mr. Hooper on Sesame Street.
Yes.
Because he was always out. It was his shop. It was his grocery store. And he was always outside sweeping on the sidewalk and talking to people and waving and saying hi and hello.
Yep.
And I was just like, I always loved that aspect of Sesame Street. And because growing up in the country, people living on top of each other and all, I thought that was just so neat to me. And just having somebody that had a shop that everybody in the neighborhood knew, I thought was just so charming. And so then as I got older, I started doing, you always have jobs you have to do. And eventually started finding things that I was good at, mostly focusing on customer service type jobs. And so was working in restaurant industry for quite a while, probably 15 years off and on. Then kind of started getting into real estate. And obviously there's a lot of customer service in real estate, a lot. And so I used really a lot of what I learned at the restaurant with real estate. And then I was selling a big condo project downtown, and everything was going great. And it was after the market collapse, and it was still really tough for developers to get financing for the next buildings. And this was a big neighborhood that they were building, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting on the next building to be built. And I seriously sat there for a year with nothing to do. We had a model that we were showing, but there wasn't anything to sell. And I just knew someday my boss is going to come in and let me go. And it ended up being a year of me sitting there with nothing to do. So the day she came in and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry, but we got to let you go." And I'm like, "That's cool, I understand." And my coworker, who I adore still to this day, looked at me and she's like, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I can go back to the restaurant," which was kind of a family business, and I just didn't want to. I wanted to do something different. And she's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I think I want to open a men's clothing store." And this right off, like that day. And she was just like, "Do it."
Yeah.
And I was just like, I've just been tinkering around for a while. And I looked, and what I'd been doing the year of doing nothing was I got on Pinterest. And it's kind of when Pinterest first came out. And I had all of these Pinterest boards. And I had fonts, I had colors, I had clothing, obviously, I had design, all the things that I loved, I was collecting. So I looked at my Pinterest boards and I was like, oh, yeah, I've kind of already been working on this shop.
Yeah.
So I jumped in and hit the ground running that moment. I wrote down that day, I still have it. It's a big yellow legal size sheet of paper. And I was just writing down all these ideas, the names of the store, all these different things, what I wanted to carry, certain brands I wanted to carry, the color schemes, the fonts. And so I then started talking to all these shopkeepers in my neighborhood of Short North, and pros and cons of owning your own business, and really going back to the biggest reason I did this was I lived in Short North, my great neighborhood, which I loved. Lived in the neighborhood for 20 years, knew all the shopkeepers, and year after year, I would always try to shop local. I could not find products for men. And it slowly drove me insane enough to say, I'm going to open a men's clothing store.
Yeah.
And which is great. I just never dreamt it wouldn't work. I went in like feet first. Never really thought about how much money I would make. Never thought about anything but this neighborhood needs a men's clothing store. And that's kind of how it all started. I just felt like our neighborhood could support what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And you just celebrated 10 years.
10 years.
10 years of brick and mortar. I
crazy.
mean, when you think about that, I mean, there's so many disruptors that have come into the market since then, but you are thriving, which is incredible.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been wild. We're in Columbus. I mean, we're the land of retail. So, every once in a while you'd have somebody come in, like crossing their arms, like looking around. They're looking at things that most people don't look at. And you can tell, oh, they're from Abercrombie, or they're from L Brands, or they're from Express or whatever. And they would come in and like, who does your merchandising? I was like, oh, I do. And they're like, oh, very good. Well, who does all your design work? Oh, I do. And they're like, oh, very good. So who'd you used to work for? Because they just assume everybody in Columbus worked for.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was a restaurant manager before this, and I did real estate. And they're just like kind of sitting there shocked. I still to this day don't know what I'm doing. And I keep telling people that, like, obviously you know what you're doing now. I was like, I do, but this is not what I went to school for. This is not, I went to school for biology pre-med. So there was nothing about owning a business. There was nothing about fashion, unless you're dressing up a frog or something that you're dissecting. So it was an interesting move, and I think it was a weird move for a lot of people. My friends and family were like, "What? What do you want to do?" And they knew I had the style part. They knew I was good at making things pretty. I can take an empty spot and make it look pretty. But I don't know. I just felt like I'm doing a service for my neighborhood of something that they need. And 10 years later, it's just bonkers to think that I've been doing this, but I never thought I wouldn't have it 10 years.
Right.
I never had a 5-year plan. I never had a 10-year plan. I will do this till the day I die, I hope.
Yeah.
I hope I'm the little old man that shuffles in for an hour a day and says hi and hello to a few customers and sits in a chair. And I have really great employees that will continue to run this.
That's
wonderful. I hope, because it would be a sad day if my shop closed.
Yeah.
Because it's needed.
It is. It is pretty cool that you saw there is something missing in the market, and you are like the mayor of Short North. I mean, you really do know. I mean, you know every store owner, every shop owner.
Yeah.
But then you also have rapport with people that you see frequently, or somebody who you see once. You just have this ability to make people feel really comfortable.
Well, thanks.
So
thanks.
We talk about Martha Stewart a lot. You're like Martha. I mean, you are.
Yeah. It's interesting. I watched the Martha documentary, and I've always loved Martha. I always say my mom is Martha. I grew up luckily with a mother that's so talented, great cook, great entertainer, great decorator. Both of my grandfathers were business owners. So I kind of have it, I guess, in my blood a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was watching the Martha documentary, and it kind of hit me like, oh, wow. Like, I never really thought what an influence she was in my life. I mean, I bought we had the subscription at the house. We had all of this, and I just was constantly addicted to Martha Stewart as a kid. Yeah. As like a 14-year-old young gay boy, he loved Martha Stewart. So,
I mean, she taught everybody a lot.
Yeah. So I think I just paid attention.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I actually paid attention to what my mother was teaching me, and we would go and she definitely dressed us very well, but we didn't have a ton of money. So every once in a while we'd go to, like, back where we're from, there was a Value City department store. It's I think it was called Schottenstein's here in Columbus.
Yeah.
But we'd go there, and she's like, well, this is all last year's product line. But she was like, it's really good. She's like, sometimes you have to look at it, you got to turn it inside out and feel it. And you got to pull the fabrics, and, you got to touch and feel the fabric. And I was like 12 going through there with her. And why she's discussing this with a 12-year-old boy, I don't know. But I just paid attention. I was like, yeah. So I just would continue to feel fabrics. And I remember I desperately wanted a Ralph Lauren comforter. Most kids wanted like a CD player. I really wanted this Ralph Lauren comforter. And she was like, Travis, we can't afford that. And then one day she came home. She's like, you won't believe what I found at TJ Maxx. She's like, they had your comforter that you really wanted, And she was like, I can't afford to buy the shams and the pillowcase covers. She's like, I'll make everything for you. I'm like, okay. So she made everything. And I remember us going through all this fabric, and she's like, this is chintz. I think chintz will be great. I remember like learning about the word chintz and the fabric of chintz versus raw silk versus this and that. And I don't know, it all just kind of stayed up in my brain.
Yeah.
So it's been a fascinating look at how I got here. It's kind of weird. I still don't quite believe it.
It's there's something to be said though that yes, like I think every stop for you, you definitely have gained that skill set and taken it with you, but the creativity and like what you had in your brain of what this was going to look like, your store, it is so beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
If you have not been, you need to go.
Thanks.
It is an experience, and
Thanks.
you get. And I knew this the first time I met you. Like you pay attention to the details,
Yeah,
and
thanks.
you get that in your store. But then you also have this. You have this very personable side to you that you just make people feel really comfortable. Like
thanks.
you walk in and it feels like you're in somebody's like amazing living room, and you're going to have a bourbon and you're going to hang out.
Well, and it's funny. I was just about to say that. I always said, I wanted you to feel like you're shopping in my living room and you're shopping at my house.
Well, you nailed that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. And we moved to a larger space 3 years ago, and it was really great to have an empty space and really kind of then start to figure out the way I really wanted it to lay out. And, I got to build out where I wanted the dressing rooms and the back stock room. And I had this great big wall, and I was like, I want a library wall. And I talked to you, and you gave me a name of some Amish contractors to help me build this gigantic big library wall.
Yeah.
And so, these things, like they're in my brain sometimes, and it just drives me crazy until I can get it out. Yeah. And so that's kind of what the shop was and the ideas in my mind of getting out. So it's been nice to get all that out.
Yeah. All right. So when you first opened, to go back to the beginning, what surprised you most about running the boutique?
I think now looking back, I think it's surprising that these companies took a chance on me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, I wasn't able to go to the buying shows. I didn't know where to go to buy clothes. And someone said, "Oh yeah, go to New York, go to the project show." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so I went, and a friend said, "Hey, go to make sure you check out this cute little shop in Hell's Kitchen." So I went and checked it out, and it was a Thai shop, and they were like, "Oh, what shows are you going to?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm going to Project." And they're like, "And?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, and?" And I Googled the hell out of this. I mean, trying to find out what to do.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of information online then. I really searched the best I could. I even called around to some other men's shops. I probably should have done that more. I think I was trying to focus more in my area. I should have just called people from outside
Anywhere.
of Columbus.
Yeah.
They would have helped, I hope. So he sat down and wrote every single thing down for me. And then it was just like, "Thank you so much." I was like, "Do you guys wholesale? Because your things are so great, your ties and bow ties." And to this day, I still have that brand.
Oh.
And he took the time with me and sat down. And, and I now probably spend, I don't know, $12,000 a year with him.
Yeah, give him a shout out.
On,
Which brand is it?
Fine and Dandy.
Oh.
Yeah, they're great.
You do have a whole table.
I have a whole table.
Yeah.
I'm like probably their largest carrier of their items in the
That's
world,
amazing.
because they have stores all over that buy their things.
Okay, let's jump into a little bit of like the messy side of entrepreneurship, because I think it's so easy for us to talk about all the great things, which we're going to talk more about the wins too.
Yeah.
But like, I think so much of what we post, and it's like the highlight reel of everything,
Sure.
right? What were, if there's a moment that stands out to you, what was like an oh crap moment? And it could actually be good too. Like if you're like, oh my God, we're running out of X, Y, or Z.
I think everybody naturally goes to COVID. That was like, oh crap, what do we do? But really, for me, it was before that. Like our Short North neighborhood had massive change of all of the streetscape. So new sidewalks, new landscaping. I had a trench in front of my store for 3 months, and there were a lot of other business owners who I won't say were super negative online. And I am always Mr. Positive. People always say like, "You're so positive. You're always so positive about things." And I mean, yeah. I mean, what's negativity get you?
Right.
And except, a bad reputation in the neighborhood. And so I just always turned it to a super positive, and I had a sign made that said, we had a plank. You had to walk across a plank to get to my store, and then I had like a porch in front of my store, and so I would do like little funny things, me sitting out there with a fishing pole and the picture, because it looked like I had a pond in front of my store, and
I mean,
then
it was messy construction.
it was
messy.
Talk about messy. It was very messy down there.
Dirty, cones everywhere.
But overall, I always said the city is spending $25 million in our neighborhood.
Making it
like,
better.
how many businesses would kill for this, for their cities to actually care about them this much? And so I was just like, bravo to Columbus for doing this. And it's so much better. And people were like, yeah, it's fine right now. I was like, oh yeah, we're watching customers trip all the time on the sidewalks, watching, the overgrown trees. And it was not good. I mean, the cohesive lighting now is so nice and it's more safe. And I love what they did. So that was a messy time. So knowing that was coming, that's when I built my website, which I was not going to do. I really put my foot down. I'm not doing a website. I'm all about brick and mortar. I want the customer service aspect. And I really thought doing a website. And I was like, I have to do a website now because of that 3-month, or actually the whole neighborhood looked terrible for like a year. And then it also started pushing me to do a party. I do these speakeasy parties once a month. And that's when I started it, was I have to find something for people to come in here for. And so I started doing this party. And back then it wasn't once a month. It was just whenever I wanted to do one.
Yeah.
And it was just a give back to customers, just a little party that we do. And now I do it every month. And it's really great. And people really look forward to it. And people really feel like it's really for us. It's not, I mean, I have sales that night, of course, but really it's just like I want people to come in and have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, you care about your customers.
Right.
It's very obvious.
Right. So when COVID happened, I just went right back into that mode. Obviously, I couldn't do my parties and things, but I just kind of went into that mode, really pushed the website. And then, to be honest with you, probably one of the more trying parts is just money. I am having tens of thousands of dollars going out every week, buying product, making sure I have product in the store, making sure I have quantity. That's a lot of money to make sure you have things on the shelves.
Right.
And you think, oh, you have your clothes twice a year, you switch over to your different seasons. Well, yeah, but I have all of my grooming products that are year round, all of my barware that's year round, and you think like, oh, I'm doing pretty good with my clothes. Like, damn it, I have to spend $6,000 on this cologne company that sells really well. Oh, I have to spend this on this. So it's just kind of juggling when's the smartest time to spend the money. And when I moved to the new location, I always worked everything off of American Express. So I buy everything American Express, and I have to pay it off that month. So for 7 years, I had like no debt.
Wow.
And that's the way I always worked. And I felt so proud that I was able to do that until I had unlimited money. So there was no limit until I moved. And I was like, oh, I have all this storage space now. And I really ordered, because I was like, oh, I don't have to really think about ordering too much barware. I can just order it all now and, enough for a year. And this was now a lot of inventory just sitting in my basement, not selling. It will sell, but I needed to pay
Cash flow.
for everything. So then all of a sudden I blinked and had an $80,000 bill that I had to pay American Express, where normally it was around 30 to 40. And I was like, oh my God. And it was tough. And the best thing I could say is just talk to your credit card companies. Talk to whoever is helping you with your financial part. And I didn't.
Okay.
And I just let it go. And I kept trying to pay a little bit here and there, but they like to be paid off like immediately.
Full, yes.
And so then they turned my card off, and I had to get another card. And I started spending on that card. Now I have to pay that card back while I still have to pay the other card. So anyway, it took me finally calling American Express, and they were like, okay, well, let's get a plan. We had a plan. I got them paid off in 5 months, but it hurt my credit.
Yeah.
And now I'm still digging myself out of that. And I'm being honest because that's the kind of shit that people need to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, this is what can happen. And I was so proud that I never had to use a normal credit card. I just, the American Express, because I had to get paid off every month.
Yeah.
So it's taken 3 years to dig out of that. And you know, I'm still just digging my way through, but I'm way better than I was.
That's great.
Tried to do it without bank loans, just trying to do it on my own.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean,
That's the dirty stuff. That's
well,
the
yeah,
messy
and
stuff.
that's the real. I mean, that's part of when it's yours. You gotta, you know, sink or swim. You're in all that.
And thank God to me, my business is growing, and I do have money coming in to pay things down. So if it was slowing down, I mean, God, I don't know what I would have done the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It really would have hurt.
Well, I think that's really good advice for anybody that's listening, because I do think, I mean, it could be a lot of reasons why I feel like we don't share that or don't ask for help. I mean, I feel like that's a huge thing I'm going through, is like, just be okay asking for help. I don't know. You go through a lot of your life where you're like, well, I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I do not like to ask for help.
I don't either.
I will be the guy that is on top of the roof doing something, and it's hard for me, and I'm trying to get better at that.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the beginning. Like, I didn't know how to do a business plan. My ex owned a lot of businesses, and he was like, you need to do a business plan. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll do a business plan. I didn't know how to do a business plan. No one told me how to do a business plan. So I bought a online thing that kind of helped me through it. And the best part of that business plan that I did, I never did finish it. The best thing I did was, it said, write down your pros, the things that really set you apart. And that's so easy to set down. Like, oh, I like fashion. I'm good at that. I can do this. I'm personable. But the best part was setting down and really facing what I'm terrible at. And I started writing things down. That list was double what my pro list was.
Yeah.
And that was what was so good. I really realized right up front, finances are not my strong suit.
Yeah.
So I immediately called an accountant. Immediately made sure, I want to make sure everything's legal. I want to make sure I do everything the right way, because I knew that was something I would have to fall back on.
Yeah.
And so little things like that, I've been very truthful with myself on what I'm good at and what I'm need a little help with.
That's awesome. And then you have a very clear list of who you're looking for. There's a good business book called, I think it's called Who Not How. And it's so much about, if you can find the right person, it just helps the wheel keep going. So yeah, that's awesome.
And that goes into social media.
I mean,
and it may be a question you have, but I thought, oh, it's gonna be so easy. You know, I can just when I have a little downtime, get on, do a post. It was so hard. I would be in the middle of a post and a customer would walk in.
Right.
And next thing you know, another customer came in. And so 2 hours later, I try to go back and work on that post. And now it's not the optimal time to post onto social media. And I ended up hating doing social media. And so that was one of those things, like, you know what? I suck at this.
yeah.
And I'm going to hire somebody to do it.
Yeah.
And that was a huge help. And I give so much credit to my guy that does all my social media.
Yeah.
And I've now since hired him in 3 other aspects of my store. He helps keep my website clean and updated with fresh pictures. And, you know, I input everything on the website, but he keeps it pretty.
Yeah.
And then he does all my mass emails for me. He helps obviously run my social media. But then he was like, you know, we need to start doing some video work. And we do a lot of video work now. And we do quite a bit
I love that
every
you're
month.
doing video.
Yeah, thanks.
It's really
thanks.
good.
It's been good.
It's really good. And social is a beast. And I mean, I think you're really smart to know it's a beast. It's inevitable. Like we have to have it for businesses. I think, you know, it's where people seem to go, even just for brand knowledge, but also shopping. I mean, it's just like it's in everybody's hand.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, you're doing a great job on all of that.
Thanks. He's doing a great job on all that.
Well, hey, you made
I just pay him to do it.
You
and
made
he
the right
talks
hire.
me into coming in and doing things, which is good. I need to be pushed to do it, so he's very good at pushing me.
Well, okay, so let's talk about hiring, because you obviously made a good hire and then found other things like that. Maybe you didn't go into it thinking, okay, if this works, I'm going to give you these other areas, but he naturally has taken over those things.
Yeah.
Tell me about hiring, because I feel like you do a good job. You have loyalty.
Thanks.
What do you look for when you're hiring someone?
I really could care less where you worked. I've always been like that with the restaurant and all. it does not bother me whatsoever that you've never waited tables, never bothered me that you've never worked retail. Are you happy? Are you friendly? Are you optimistic? That's primarily what I hire on. And I run into old staff from the restaurants all the time, and they're all going to be sitting there, if they listen to this, shaking their head yes, because they all tell me, like, you're the best boss I ever had because you pushed us to have fun. And I was like, it's a gay bar restaurant. Have fun. Well, you're never, ever going to work anywhere like this for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Have fun. Like, what? No boss is going to tell you to have fun. And I was like, if you have fun, customers are going to have fun. It's a bar. And I'm kind of like that with my store. Like, you know, I'm not a stuffy store. I know I may sell stuffy looking clothing and all, but I really want people to come in and really enjoy themselves. I'm kind of a down home kind of countryish guy. I want you to enjoy. I want you to kind of laugh and have fun when you come into my store. And that to me is the most important part.
So show up for interviews like yourself. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%. 100%.
All right, let's talk about wins. Like I know that you've had some really cool stuff happen over the past few years, but what has been your proudest moment since opening Samson?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the coolest things was all of a sudden last year, Google contacted me. Like Google, like
the Google.
Yeah, they like reached out to me and they were just like, hey, we want you to be a part of this. We're trying to see who we want to select as our Small Business of Ohio for our economic impact report that we do every year. And so I kind of went through questioning with all of that. Anyway, they selected me and I was just like, oh my gosh. So they had this lady from Stanford, call me and we talked, we did a Zoom call. So she wrote everything. They had a photographer from New York come for 4 hours and photograph everything at my store. And then the article came out, which was so cool. I don't know if I really got any business from it, but it was just like someone noticed me very high up, and it was very cool. And then flash forward a few months after that, they were like, in that May, they were like, hey, June's coming up for Pride Month, and we've selected you as our LGBTQ Small Business of the World. And we want to highlight you on our Google page. And I'm just like, of the world? And I was just like,
it's like Ohio against the world for real.
Yeah,
you're like, I got
and I'm
both
just
of
like,
them.
I just have a retail shop. Like, I'm not like saving the world in any way. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So they took the pictures that they'd had before and they put it. So Pride Month, I look and I took a screenshot of their Google page and it was like 20 some million followers, and I was like looking at my face. I got hate mail. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
You've made it.
You've made it. If
You've
you get
got trolls, hate mail.
Yeah. So it's just like, that was really cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, why does Google like me so much? And then they reached out again this past year and invited me to a business summit in DC with like 52 other businesses. And we just went through all these summits and had these great soirees. And the last day they take us to Capitol Hill and took me to my senator's office to talk and, about my small business and what it means to me to have a small business in Ohio. And it was amazing. I would have never had that opportunity. And they're just incredible. I just, I think that was like a really neat thing. I've had a lot of amazing, wonderful things happen, but that was definitely a highlight of my life.
So proud of you. Because I feel like, this is one of the questions. Like, I feel like Columbus has always embraced you. I just feel like partly because I think you open that door. I think you make it really easy for people to get to know you. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, like, I feel like Columbus surrounds you with love. But for you to like be seen outside of the city,
and I think that's what,
the state, the world, going to Capitol Hill, it's so well-deserved.
Sure.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks.
What would you say about community and how that has played into your story?
It kind of goes back a little bit to the Capitol Hill part, because before I went away, I ran into the person that runs Short North Board, for the Alliance. And I've known her for years. And she was like, well, when you go to your senator's office, you make sure that you tell them that you have a business in a neighborhood that brings $2.5 billion to City of Columbus and Ohio every year. And I was just like, wow, $2.5 billion. And when I hear stories about like, big things, I'm just like, that's a lot of money. And so, I'm very proud to be in the neighborhood I'm in. I'm so lucky to be in the neighborhood I'm in. And community, for me, I may not like my ex, but my ex owned a lot of businesses in the short north, and I learned a lot from him. My father always said, he was like, you got your PhD in business by being with him. And I paid attention, just like I said with my mom. I paid attention as a kid. I might not have seemed like I was paying attention to him, but I was watching what he was doing. And he always had really, really great things about customer service and taking care of your customers. And he always said, he was just like, if anybody comes to you and asks for a donation for a charity, always give it. Don't ever question anything. Just give it. Help other people. They will come back and help you eventually. And I've always done that. I volunteered very heavy in my 30s, and to the point of kind of burnout, talking about burnout. So I've done a lot of that in the past. I probably feel like I kind of need to do a little bit more now. But I've always given back to my community as best I can. I think being friendly and a nice, positive, happy person. And, there's things that go on in every community in our country, and, just be a light of positivity, because there's a good reason to about anything that's out there. There's hopefully everything starts for a good reason. And, I try to be that kind of happy-go-lucky person with it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk some style questions.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're really good at this. All right. So if you can, I feel like we've talked once where you actually had pieces, but you're going to just pull this out from your brain. 3 easy upgrades every guy can do to make them look more put together.
Yeah. I always tell, you look at most guys, they would pick out a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, or a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, or, as their normal everyday thing. Mm-hmm. That's fine, but, you will look so much more put together if you just have a collared shirt on. And I'm not saying you have to tuck it in and it has to be skin tight, or if it has to be really loose. You need to find something that looks good on your body, that is easy to untuck it. I'm fine with untucking your shirt like that with a pair of jeans or a pair of chinos or a pair of shorts will look so much better than just your favorite t-shirt. You know what? Keep your favorite t-shirt on, open the shirt, let it just flow open. You'll still look 100% better than you were just in your big sloppy t-shirt.
Yeah.
So I always try to push guys to not only like an Oxford cloth shirt, a denim shirt, like what I'm wearing today. Like every guy should own a denim or a chambray shirt. I have probably 10.
Yeah.
And they go with everything.
Yes.
I'm not too crazy about putting it with denim, but denim
You're
on
not
denim.
doing the denim tuxedo.
I'm not very good with all that.
I'm not either.
I like to do it more with like a pair of chinos or shorts. So if you really think about summertime, you're really not wearing a lot of jeans or jean shorts. You're mostly wearing cotton shorts of every single color. A denim shirt goes with everything.
Yeah.
I have it with a pair of navy shorts today, and it's denim,
Yeah.
which is also blue. It works. And then once you get into fall and winter, like, oh my God.
You're like, here we go.
Let's layer
Here are
it
the
up.
sweaters and the blazers.
I've always loved cricket sweaters. I have probably about 10 of them at home. Ralph Lauren's about the only place you can usually find them, and I've bought one almost every year. So this year, this is actually my private label. So this is like baby's first private label. So I can't ever find a cricket sweater anywhere to sell.
Yeah.
And so I found a company to make them for me. And,
of course you did.
And so I got my own labels printed. It's wild. So these just came out this fall. So I love putting what I have on now, put like a tweed sport coat with it, put a Letterman jacket with it if you want to go more varsity. I like layering that. So instead of just picking your North Face jacket that you wear everywhere you go, for the love of God, just get a really nice, I know you have like 10 sport coats in your closet that you never wear. Use your sport coat as a jacket. I tell guys that all the time. Wear it as a jacket. It's just another layering piece. You're going to have your other layers on. Put a scarf with it if it's really cold out. You will look like $1 million. Pop the collar. You'll look like $1 million if you wear that instead of your stupid North Face jacket. Sorry, North Face. But,
there's a time and a place for that.
There's a time and a place, sure. Yeah, if you're skiing or you're, but right. When you go out to dinner and you're wearing your puffy jacket, I'm just like, dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to everybody has their winter jacket. Like, you can have other jackets than your winter coat,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
What about if somebody, like, let's say I was going to just redo my husband's wardrobe, what sort of capsule should I create? Like, if I was starting from scratch, what are maybe 3 to 5 pieces that should definitely be in there?
The capsules, I think, to look at, like, immediately go through if there are colors with patterns, and when you see it, you immediately like, oh, 2008, you know, oh, 2000, oh, you know,
Oh, my
and
mom had a
trust me,
pillow
they
that
are
looked like
still in
that.
your husband's closet. Just take them out, just throw them away, or just donate them. Don't throw it away. Donate it, that's just they're never going to wear it. And if
Are
they
these
do
like-
wear it, you're going to hate it on them.
Remember the shirts that had like
Yes,
that?
the Robert Graham shirts.
Yeah,
that I
with
hate.
I'm like folding
Yeah.
the cuff back.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Trust me, I had a couple.
I mean, they were good when they were good.
I let
they're
it go
past.
because that's one of the trendy items. I always think of the guy from Modern Family. That always wore
Totally.
those.
Us too.
Cam.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So like you said a good outerwear piece,
Yeah. So
a good pair of denim.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely want some good denim. So just pay attention to what you're wearing. If you are going to the top 2 sets of jeans and you're wearing those all the time, like I'm now at the point where I have all of these shorts, and I have been wearing the same shorts for the last 2 or 3 years, and I have 20 pairs of shorts that I'm not wearing because they're not a 5 or 6 inch inseam. Anything below, for me personally, I hate anything that's going to be longer than a 6 inch short.
Okay.
I know that's not for everybody. I do at least try to get a guy into a 7. Never wear a 9 inch. Please, for the love of God, stop wearing 9 inch shorts. And I scream it to all my brands. Nobody, like when I go to the buying shows, nobody is hardly making a 5 inch or a 6 inch short.
Really?
And if a guy has a good pair of legs, show
'em
off the
off.
legs. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. So, but I know some guys, they don't want that. They're scared of it. Then do a 6 inch. You know, at the most, don't do anything, you know, more than a 7 inch short. I preach that all the time.
Yeah.
Guys will come in specifically ask. I'm like, nope, get out. I'm kidding. I don't say that. But I'm like, let me tell you. So one story, my brother came in to the store, grown up with this guy. He's always been very athletic. He's 4 years older than me. He's always been very athletic and all. And he always just wears these shorts that come all the way down to his knee. They're a little baggy. Like, I don't know. It's like this look that you see all these guys wearing. They're not flattering at all. They look kind of awful. It almost looks like they're wearing skirts to me. Like, it just does not look good. And so I was just like, will you please try these 6 inch shorts on? I had a 6 inch, it wasn't a 5. And so he came out of the dressing room and I was like, oh my God, I've not seen my brother's thighs
Like his actual leg.
since he was in high school, probably playing basketball. And I was just like, you have really good legs. He was like, I kind of like these. I was like, dude. And so anyway, I made him buy them. He went home, and we're from West Virginia. So trust me, this is not, it's West Virginia. So it's not New York City. He went back and he said, Travis, people were stopping me in grocery stores and anywhere I was at. And they're like, you look so good. You look so good. And he was just like, I had no idea I've been wearing the wrong size shorts. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Size and style.
Because guys always worry about the right fit for jeans or chinos. Shorts are just as important.
Yeah.
And I mean, I live in shorts, and when it's above 70 degrees, I'm always in shorts.
Yeah.
I hardly ever wear pants.
Okay. I love all that. That's great advice.
Yeah.
So let's get a little bit more into mindset. I think this is something that you probably don't think about a lot, but I feel like you are such a positive energy to people. So share with us when you think of success. Like, what does that really mean? Maybe it's changed along this journey for you, but like, what does it mean to you?
I've been very, very, very lucky, and some people say the word blessed. I don't use that word a lot, but I got to have an amazing life of living in beautiful homes and traveling the world. And, just because I was married to my ex who made a lot more money than me, and I got to do that. And I'm really happy I kind of had that when I was younger, because once we broke up and I was then on my own, it then kind of told me, I don't like that. All of that money stuff doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Like I've never really been someone that flaunts money around. But I am very happy in my, modest home that you sold me, which I love, and in an up and coming neighborhood, because it's mine and it's my style. It's I've got to make it the way I want it, and I just I don't think money is the most important thing always. I think happiness and doing what you love. Like, I love my boss. He's great because it's me.
Yeah.
And I get to do whatever I want to do. I don't have anybody telling me what to do. And, if there's people in their 20s listening to this, it's very hard to be your own boss. I mean, I went through, I didn't do this until I was 40 years old. So I have had bosses before, but I've been a manager, but I always had somebody I had to answer to.
Yeah.
So until you really get to the place where you can really, truly do what you want to do, it's wonderful. And it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I'm very good at managing myself, managing my time. It will drive me crazy if I don't get up and do this and that.
You're super disciplined. I feel like you're really disciplined about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just in terms of your schedule and.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say I'm a workaholic, but if it's the right time, trust me, I'll be a workaholic if I need to, but I'm very good at turning it off. Mm-hmm. Very good. I don't think you need to devote your entire life to work.
Yeah. You do a good job of having you have a fun.
I have a lot of fun. I love to travel.
Yeah.
And that's where, the bulk of my extra money goes. I like to travel. So that's what I enjoy doing.
All right. So what's next for Samson? What is lighting you up? What gives you that energy? What's next?
Yeah. I mean, we just had our 10-year anniversary just a few weeks ago, and that was really big. And that's kind of what pushed me to do the private label. I've batted around an idea of doing a few different pieces for a while, and then the sweater, and I have a chore coat that actually just came in yesterday. We're even doing some branding with hats.
I love that.
Everybody always wants to buy something with our store name on it, and I'm like, really? Yes. I was like, why?
Like a trucker hat?
It's a dad cap.
Like a dad cap. Okay.
And my wonderful manager Johnny owns a embroidery company, which works out great. So he's embroidering them for us, and we came up with some designs, and it's really great. So I'm very happy. So we'll have that. Maybe eventually do some T-shirts, but I'm not a big logo guy.
Yeah.
I never have been. So when people want to buy my name on something, it's like, really? So
it's free advertising though.
It is, but I don't really care about that.
You have a great logo. So
thanks. It is cool.
Really cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so every guest has to go through a little bit of a quick fire. So whatever, I know, none of them are hard, really.
At the beginning, my brain's a little fried right
You're
now.
You're like, okay. Okay, so whatever comes to mind first, obviously no wrong answer. What is one local spot in Columbus you think everyone has to know about besides Samson?
Yeah. I'm really big on just outdoor space. I love that Quarry Metro Park thing.
Quarry trails.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like, check out the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your feet in the dirt.
Yeah.
Totally agree. For an inspiration standpoint, what you said you don't read, but maybe there's a song or a movie or a podcast or something. What's inspiring you right now? Where do you get inspiration?
I get inspiration. Really, like I said, nature earlier. I love to be in the garden. I've been redoing my backyard this year, and it has been a labor of love, and it's been a lot of hard work, and I've never been more tan in my life.
Love it.
But I love just plotting it out. And my backyard's only 30 by 30. So, take a spot, figure out something that really gets you going. Maybe it's carpentry, maybe it's landscaping, maybe it's, a piece of something in your home. You'll be so proud of doing something yourself. And we're living in a time when it's so easy to go on YouTube and watch videos on how to do this and that. And it will give you a lot of happiness in your life if you just kind of do things on your own.
Yeah. Take ownership.
Yeah.
Satisfaction in that. That's awesome. All right. What's your guilty pleasure? Something that you love that most people won't expect.
I love desserts. I love to bake. I try not to bake because I'll eat them.
Oh my gosh, you are a great baker.
I do love to bake. I almost opened
A bakery.
I wanted to open a bakery before I opened
Then
the
you realized
store.
the hour, right?
Yeah,
The
and I was like, I'm
hours.
not going to wake up at 3 a.m. every day
No.
and bake.
You're like,
you
I could
know,
be
and-
done by 3 p.m., but oh my gosh, I have to get up.
I grew up in southern West Virginia where there's a ton of Italians, and we always had Italian bakeries. And like, I think like Rush's is like the only one I can really think of in Columbus. Like,
Yeah.
there's not like the old school bakeries that I grew up with. And so I don't know, just things like that. Like that's a huge guilty pleasure. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at not eating. I've been very good about watching my weight.
Just take a bite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's the
discipline.
thing I'm starting to notice is if you just take a bite,
Yeah.
it's pretty
good.
much, it takes care of all of the neurons in your brain.
Yeah.
The rest is just like, ugh, I can't believe I ate all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So to wrap it up, if you had to give one key takeaway to anybody that might be listening, maybe they're thinking of starting something, maybe they're in the middle of something and they're like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. What advice would you give them?
Believe in yourself is the biggest thing, but know yourself. Like I said, when I wrote down all of my negative parts about who I am as a human being, I listened to that and I paid attention to that. And, don't just open up something or do something because you think, oh, I saw Janie down the street do it and she's made a lot of money. Like, that's not why you do it. Like, that's not how I've done anything in my life. Like, you open it up because you truly want to do it. I had a friend that I reached out to for advice, and she's like a headhunter for these big corporate type companies, and I really trust her. And this was about a month after I started talking to everybody, and she's like, well, how much money are you going to make at this? And I was like, oh my God, I never even thought about how much money I'd make. It seriously was like a light bulb, like I never thought about how much money I'd make.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's awesome. She was like, you're really doing this because you love it.
want
And
it.
I was like, yeah.
That's
yeah.
so great.
So that's, that's what I can say is just do something you feel like there's a need in your community for, because if there's not a need, it is not going to work. Like there are 1,000 bakeries out there. There's 1,000 jewelry companies out there. There's 1,000 retail shops out there. You really have to find something that is unique. And I always tell everybody, anybody can do what I'm doing by going on, finding companies, selling the products. Seriously, you can get a vendor's license. You can reach out to these companies. They will sell you their products, but you have to have all the other skills that were somehow in me to make it work properly. That's a big takeaway is you really have to know yourself and know if this or that's going to work. Don't just try something for a couple of years. Like I never think I'm going to ever do anything else. Like this is it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, visit Samson. This is actually, I feel like one of the most beautiful times in your store from
thanks.
here through the holidays.
Oh, I love it too.
Oh my gosh.
It's
When
so
you decorate
short,
for the
though.
holiday. Oh,
So short. That's what I always hate this time of year because
Oh my gosh.
Christmas always screws it all up because
I know.
everybody just ends it with Christmas. And it's like, no, it's only 4 months of this exciting
know.
time of the year.
I know.
Yeah.
But do yourself a favor because, I'm all about shopping local too. I just feel like you have a gift and we're lucky
Thanks.
that it's like in our neighborhood. So you're doing
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
wonderful.
joining us.
Yeah, thank you. This is awesome. It's just nice catching up with you.
Always.